A good evening. It is 19th of September 2025 and you are just in time for GBS News at 9. I'm Ibrahim Said and our sign language interpreter tonight is Alan Kiama. Remember here, every headline carries a story, every story with a truth and every truth carries a voice. We have a lot lined up for you and on to our first story. The government has today launched the Social Health Authority sponsorship program at State House, Nairobi. Under this initiative, more than 2.2 million Kenyans from vulnerable households will have shares contribution paid by the government as part of its universal health commitment.
He announced that the government has already released 4.4 billion Kenya shillings check to the social health authorities to cover the contribution of vulnerable citizens. The president explained that, unlike the defunct National Health Insurance Fund, the SHA is designed to serve all Kenyans equitably, with contributions set at 2.75% of income.
Presented to the Social Health Authority sponsorship program. Check ndio hii.
President Ruto commended governors and members of parliament who have partnered with the government to support households under SHA. Among them are Governor Gladys Wanga, Irungu Kangata, Abdul Swamad Nasir, Mohamud and Isa Timami, as well as MP Jalango, Naisula Lesuda, Eve Obara, David Gikaria, Janet Citienei, and Kareke Mbuki.
I want to say, in our midst, we have very distinguished leaders from our counties. Pia ambao wamechangia katika kuwalipia wale ambao hawana uwezo wa kulipa. Tukianza na Mombasa County. Mheshimiwa Abdul Samad Sharif yuko hapa. Pigeni makofi. Trans Nzoia County. Mheshimiwa Natembea wa kutoka Trans Nzoia County pia amelipia watu wa Trans Nzoia County, nafikiri watu 2,000. Tuko na mheshimiwa wa county government ya Murang'a, Mheshimiwa Kangata yuko hapa. Mpigie makofi. Mheshimiwa wa Lamu, the governor of Lamu has offered to pay for 15,000. Mheshimiwa Gladys Wanga, governor wa Homa Bay. Na vile vile Mheshimiwa Ochilo Ayako wa Migori County. Hawa ni baadhi ya ndugu viongozi ambao wamechangia na wamekubali ya kwamba mzigo huu wa kuwalipia Wakenya wengine tutaubeba sisi wote. So na wauliza wabunge wetu vile vile, kwa sababu sheria ya NGCDF inawaruhusu kuwalipia Wakenya katika constituency zenu wale ambao hawana uwezo. Nataka niwaulize wabunge wote, kila mbunge achukue nafasi alipie watu katika constituency yake kupitia kwa hazina ya CDF. Ndio tuhakikisha kwamba hakuna Mkenya anawachwa nyuma katika harakati hii ya mambo ya afya katika taifa letu la Kenya.
Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale added that 25 counties have already digitized health services, while the remaining 22 are in the process of going paperless.
The principle of not leaving anyone behind is a very critical pillar of the Taifa Care and the UHC model. Today, those that have low incomes and vulnerable in our society sitting here will enjoy similar health benefits under the Social Health Authority, just like those who are privileged in our community. And that means, Your Excellency, the Social Health Authority is an equalizer for all Kenyans, regardless of their tribe, regardless of their education, regardless of their religion, or their socio-economic status. Your presence, Your Excellency, today underscores your personal dedication to making this vision a reality. On the digital health superhighway, Your Excellency, is firmly on course. Already 25 counties, Your Excellency, are fully going paperless, with the 22 more counties set for completion by December this year. This transformation, Your Excellency, is anchored on a robust digital platform comprising of 38 integrated systems powered by artificial intelligence, big data, data analytics, and machine learning.
Reporting for GBS TV, I'm Paul M. Minor.
Away from that, MSS Force Commander Godfrey Otunge has said that the Haiti peace mission is a success after the force managed to drive the gangs out of streets of Port-au-Prince. They have been able to capture key areas including the airport, seaport, and most schools. Hospitals are now open. Addressing the media in Port-au, the commander said roads that were closed by the gangs are now open and citizens are conducting their businesses freely. Davis Karani reports.
Kenya's police officers have managed to secure the area that had been dominated by the gangs in Haiti, especially the streets of Port-au-Prince, and most schools and hospitals are now open, according to the MSS Force Commander Godfrey Otunge.
Since our deployment as MSS on June 25th, 2024, we have been confident that MSS is a mission possible. Henceforth, we have been duty-bound, guided by a singular objective to help re-establish security and support the Haitian National Police against gang violence and create the conditions necessary for free and fair elections in Haiti. In pursuit of its mandate, the MSS mission has so far disrupted criminal networks and repelled numerous gang attacks.
He, however, said that the force is facing some challenges with funding and equipment and appealed for assistance from the Kenyan government. He also spoke about the officers who lost their lives in the line of duty and the ones still missing, stating that they are the country's heroes.
We lost one officer, Kaitwai, who was the first that we lost when they were fighting and exchanging in Antibonite. And we did a very honorable send-off, and we still remain to consider him as our hero. And as we are talking even right now, he has been awarded posthumously with a medal because he's part and parcel of this mission. And again, the second one that we lost was just the last 1.5 weeks when we had an accident. When our officers were coming from Kenskov, we had an accident and we lost one officer who, as of today, we are doing preparations on how to repatriate the body back to Kenya. And he remains to be our hero because he died on the line of duty. The last one is the person who is missing in action. One officer who is still missing in action. And as we are talking right now, we put all the mechanism in place to ensure that we get our officer back.
This mission was established because of in the context of ensuring that Kenya has entered this mission, the MSS, and therefore there was need to have a mission which will be able to work with the Haitian government in terms of bilateral arrangements, and also the other issues which we were supposed to do here in this mission is to ensure that the stability of Haiti, the security support to the mission, the Kenya-led mission. You are all aware that we have 735 officers in this country, officers drawn from the Kenyan police officers who have arrived here 15 months ago. These officers have done an excellent job in terms of the job they have done when they arrived here. We also have 30 international Kenyans who are working with the United Nations and other bodies here. And this mission is the mission which is taking care of the day-to-day running of those officers. Also, we are here to ensure that we protect and project and promote Kenyan interests within Haiti and the larger CARICOM area. Also, we promote trade, investment, and commerce.
Kenya's ambassador to Haiti, Ambassador Noor Gabo, said that Kenya's mission in Haiti is to promote and protect Kenya's interests, saying that Kenya has a rich history in peacekeeping mission, adding that so far, Kenyan forces under the MSS have performed extremely well.
When I engage with the diplomats and multilaterals and the Haitians, they are very happy with what Kenya has achieved in a short period of time. But still there's a lot of room required because gangs are still in Kenskoff area, they are still in City Soleil, they are still in part of the Dalmas. Therefore, a lot of boots are required on the ground to make sure that these gangs are flushed out from those areas where they are. As Kenya works with international community, these officers, once they were brought in last year, what I've been told here after engaging with the United Nations and others, these are officers of excellence. These are officers who are professional. They have done an excellent job in ensuring that they can be able to work with the Haitian police and Haitian authorities. And for the 1 year, we have not got any report of indiscipline. We have not got any indiscipline, any human rights violation, and that clearly shows the caliber and the skills of officers we have brought here. And it will be a plus for us in terms of our engagement with CARICOM, with Haiti and the region.
Davis Karani for GBS News, Haiti.
The nurses' strike in Sihaya has today entered its third day, with health workers staging demonstration in the streets to protest against the county government's failure to address their grievances. The striking nurses, led by officials of the Kenya Union of Nurses and Midwives, are demanding immediate payment of salaries, remittance of third-party deduction, and fulfillment of agreements signed with the county government. Here is more on the story.
The demonstrations, which briefly disrupted traffic in Siaya town, saw the nurses march to the county headquarters, where they camped for hours, chanting slogans and calling for action. Addressing the media, Branch Chairman Dennis Omolo and Secretary General Kennedy Hamisi accused the county government of going back on its word after a return to work deal had been signed just a month earlier. They said the failure to remit statutory deductions had left members unable to access loans, healthcare, and cooperative services.
The question of remittance, or rather salary delays. As you know, the release of the exchequer from Treasury takes a long time. I also would want to appeal to the nurses to return to work immediately. Their work involves matters of life and death.
Governor James Orengo, responding to the strike, appealed to the nurses to resume duty immediately, assuring them that salaries will begin to be released immediately. He attributed the delays to bureaucratic procedures at the National Treasury, but confirmed that his government had already received funds from the exchequer. Orengo further said his administration was engaging with the Workers' Council to resolve pending issues, including the absorption of staff under the Universal Health Care Program.
We are here today as nurses from Siaya because we had a strike last month and then we suspended this strike for 30 days. The 30 days elapsed. We did another strike notice to our employer. The employer never engaged us in any way. And then we decided now to down our tools officially as from yesterday. We are on this strike until further notice. The further notice means until the employer implements our agreement that we had last month.
We are out on the street so that the public, we want the public to join us in this thing that it is the county government of Siaya striking against wananchi, against the citizens of Siaya County.
Union officials have vowed to sustain the strike until all grievances are fully addressed, while the county government insists payments are being processed. With both sides standing their ground, Siaya residents could face prolonged disruption of health services if a compromise is not reached in the coming days. Molin Rono, GBS News.
And after that story, it is time for us to take a short break. Keep your feedback streaming into our social media platform at GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. We'll be right back.
So last year you are nominated for the Digital Creators Awards.
Yes.
Yeah, and you bagged second place for Creator of the Year.
Yeah.
Tell us about that experience.
But by the time I was leaving university, the vice chancellor had bought my art piece.
Wow.
To hang in his office.
Wow.
Yeah.
The difference between pointillism, stippling, dot mandala, and dotilism.
Okay. Mostly do art with dots, with lines, and I like to just think of myself as a versatile artist when it comes to patterns.
What has words but never speaks?
So it's anime and cosplay in Kenya.
I came to know about anime when I was a teenager, because that's when I knew, oh, it's not a cartoon, it's an anime. And I came to realize, oh, it's a whole thing and it's a whole culture and it's a whole community behind it.
I remember I used to watch Dragon Ball Z, but that time I didn't know it was
anime.
I thought it was a cartoon.
Yeah.
Let me go watch cartoon.
Anime has been there, it's just growing with time and people are getting to know more about it.
This has been going on since 2016. Like, people have been meeting up for anime and DC, whatever nerdism you engage in since 2016.
Cosplay, basically, what it says is costume
Role play.
Yeah, so you dress up as a character from an anime, and that's just it.
So character likeness, how much do you look like the character?
Some parents see anime as just cartoons.
You're like the
which is true. What's your take on this perception?
Hizo cartoons zako zenye unawatch.
Also, it's me doesn't bother me at all. Most of the most popular anime we enjoy today, Jujutsu Kaisen, is for kids. Naruto is for kids. One Piece is for kids. So yeah, it's never bothered me when people are like, anime is for kids, anime is cartoons. I say this as someone who's been watching anime for 15 years. Anime is cartoons.
Everywhere, GBS.
Thank you for keeping it locked here at GBS News at 9. Now, the prosecution has closed its case against controversial Pastor Paul Ndenge Mackenzie in the Shakahola child torture trial. Mackenzie and his co-accused are facing charges of subjecting children to cruelty in what has been described as Kenya's worst starvation cult tragedy. Our reporter has the details.
Appearing at the Tononoka Children's Court in Mombasa, Pastor Paul Mackenzie listened as prosecutor formally closed their case against him and his co-accused. The state presented a mountain of evidence, 76 witnesses, and over 100 exhibits. Among them, photos and videos from Shakahola Forest, WhatsApp messages linked to Mackenzie's inner circle, and testimony from survivors. 16 witnesses testified under protection, including 13 children who told the court how they were beaten with sticks, whipped with thorny branches, and forced to fast until collapse. Police officers described mass graves where more than 453 bodies have been exhumed. Post-mortems revealed starvation as the likely cause of death in most cases. Officers also recalled rescuing children confined in huts, many too weak to stand and guarded by armed followers. The matter will come up again on October 14th when the court is expected to give direction on whether the case is ready to proceed. Susan Nganga, GBS News, Mombasa.
And now, shifting gears, National Assembly Speaker Honorable Moses Wetangula has urged Luhya community to rally behind President William Ruto in the 2027 general election, arguing that their unity could shape Kenya's political destiny and secure the community's long-sought stake in national leadership. The National Assembly Speaker, Moses Masika Wetangula, with Honorable Wycliffe Oparanya have promised to bring Luhyas together ahead of the 2027 general election, as Davis Karani reports.
Speaking in Lurambi constituency today in Kakamega County, where he met local residents alongside Cooperative Cabinet Secretary FCPA, Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya and 7 members of Parliament, Honorable Moses Masika Wetangula framed the 2027 general elections as a watershed moment for Western Kenya.
Sio enough kusema tumeungana. We must demonstrate that we play a role in the politics of Kenya commensurate with our numbers and our strength. Namba zenu Kakamega hapa na Kiambu ni sambamba. Hapa Bungoma namba zetu na Nakuru ni sambamba. Lakini ukiangalia orodha ya wapiga kura, Kiambu iko 1.2 million, Kakamega tuko 800. Hii 1400 iko wapi? Na iko tuko hao vijana wetu.
Oparanya and Wetangula pointed to Ruto's frequent visit to Western region and revival of stalled infrastructure projects and the recent 500 million Kenya shillings allocations for the completion of Kakamega Level 6 Hospital as a proof of the government's goodwill.
Hatutaki tutanganyane. Ati saa hii tukiwa hapa tunasema tukuje pamoja, lakini afterwards huko kwa kukuni yako huko, huyo mwingine ako huko na mimi niko huko, hatutaweza. Hata mimi hawa bunge wa Kakamega tuko pamoja nao na tunaongea umoja ya Waluhya wote.
Sasa tunaenda 2027. And that is a defining moment for us. 2027 is what is going to determine our 2032. Vile tutasimama pamoja na tunataka mtuachilie Oparanya, Wetana au wengine. Tunakuja nyumbani, tunaongea, mnatuachilia kwenda kutengeneza urafiki kwingine.
The leaders also cautioned the young politicians against undermining the senior leaders, warning that inciting erodes the community's bargaining power.
Nimeona vijana sasa wanatusi Oparanya, wanatusi Wetana, wanatusi nani. Unajua sisi tuna uzoefu ya kutosha katika siasa. Tumekuwa hapa kwa muda. Kuna mambo tumeona, na vile Chinua Achebe aliandika katika vitabu, a wise man standing on the ground will see farther than an idiot on top of a tree.
Davis Karani, GBS News, Kakamega.
Leaders and scholars from Alego Usonga constituency are today calling on the Siaya County government to surrender the entire 56-acre Siaya Agricultural Training Center land to proposed President Barack Obama University College. The leaders, led by Area Member of Parliament Samuel Atandi and University DON Professor Paul Wao Ochola, insist that the carving out 15 acres for construction of new county headquarters will jeopardize efforts to establish a fully fledged university in Siaya town. Here is more on the story.
Speaking at Malamba Secondary School in West Alego, Atandi said local residents were opposed to the selling off of any portion of the land and urged Governor James Orengo to heed public outcry. He further challenged the county government to disclose the lease agreement with Jaramogi Oginga University of Science and Technology, which has been mentoring the proposed Obama University College. Scholars including Owino Tambre and Michael Mwalo emphasized that their concern should not be politicized, stressing that their focus was on safeguarding citizens' educational interest.
For a university to be developed, you need 50 acres of land. You don't need 25 acres or 15 acres. What we are asking the county government of Siaya is that we want you to publicize the lease that you claimed you have already given to the university, to the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga University. That lease must be 50-acre piece of land, because that is the only That is the amount of land that is required for a university to be developed.
Documents that reportedly emerged from the county government showed a subdivision proposal allocating 25 acres to the university, 15 acres to county headquarters, and 10 acres to the agricultural training center. Tamre questioned this move, recalling that during the transfer of assets at the advent of devolution, 5 acres had already been allocated at Awelo Junction for the county headquarters.
A document emerged last time, and during this university, that emergence, it was proposed that 10 acres remain for the ATC, 15 acres, the new county headquarters, and 25 acres for youth campus. If this is applied, then we'll no longer have a university there.
The leaders have vowed to escalate their push, promising to rally residents against any attempt to subdivide the land. The standoff now sets the stage for a looming confrontation, with pressure mounting on Governor Orengo's administration to safeguard the university project and align with national education standards in the coming days. Molly Rono, GBS News.
It is time for us to take another short break here. Keep your feedback streaming into our social media platform at GBS TV Africa, and our SMS line as usual is 21144. Stay tuned.
Coming up on Mta Madness. Love collides with betrayal. An unexpected truth will shake the neighborhood to its core.
Mwanga huu ankojemu atiajai kuletea kitu. Haya. Ndio hiyo. Miracle. Umetoa pia anko. Usijali, hiyo ni mambo yangu. Check expiry 2022. Iko 2025. Ni mkebe ime-expire, kitu iko ndani ni legit.
Decision, one secret, and a storm no one saw coming.
Apparently, the pastor's hoodie has sports betting code embroidered
When trust breaks,
all rent must be paid via M-Pesa or bank transfer.
the fallout is inevitable.
Nauliza, na hii tili yako iko registered under which name? Kwa jina gani? Madam Transparency. Tuliona Fraud Surprise Limited. Kioski bila stoko.
Next time, the past refuses to stay buried.
Jackpot promotion. Unajua? Ndio jackpot promotion. My farm. Wamekulipia. So, unaweza jienjoy. Nashukuru sana.
Sasa ndio mnajua kugonga. What they don't know won't light their torches.
Mta Madness, a choice that changes everything.
We're going to be talking about the rock industry and rock culture in Kenya.
When an artist goes into a studio thinking about a hit song, God walks out of the room. So msanii achaguangi hit, hakuna msanii. Msanii achaguangi hit, like even most of the hit songs, some of the songs zinakuanga zile msanii hata apendi kwa hiyo.
Well, that's true. This pressure that is coming in, you need to feed your audience what they want to be fed with, right? What is trending, you need to go as per what is trending. So if you ask a majority of people out here, yes, rock music is there, it is being played, but it's not recognized sana.
Some years back, reggae music used to have a stereotype too. Reggae ilikuwa watu wa bangi, ya watu
sijui
kama mtu alikufa, assuming someone died who died in the 90s, someone died in 1995, akifufuka saa hii na watu wanasikia reggae, he'd be very shocked. My goal is to demystify rock in Africa kwa sababu music is music, guitar, the rock, all music came from Africa. Muziki haina kabila, how do I put, muziki haina kabila. In fact, they'll be shocked, the rock music we know as of now came from black people. Wakamba ndio marockstar Kenya. Hi Kambas. You know the way they play the guitar is just an expression. Yeah, there's Kikuyu gospel hard rock, a guy called Kanyaki for example. So it's very misunderstood. Watu wanasema ni ya madevo, ni ya wazungu.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back and let's continue with the story. A new wave of flooding has hit Unity State in South Sudan, threatening thousands already displaced by previous rains. Aid agencies are reinforcing defense and clearing landmines as communities brace for more extreme weather. The government says reclaimed land will support recovery efforts. Unity State in South Sudan has faced recurring flood for years, with stagnant waters from previous seasons already covering 70% of the land. Homes, schools, health facilities and farmland have been repeatedly submerged, leaving communities displaced and dependent on aid.
UNRWA's clearance in Tomangor removed a critical obstacle for IOM to complete 17 kilometers of dikes and release 42 square kilometers of land, which demonstrates how mine action through tangible results on the ground delivers tangible impact.
This week, fresh flooding triggered by heavy rainfall and spillover from the Nile River has worsened the crisis, affecting more than 220,000 people. Humanitarian agencies and UN peacekeepers are reinforcing dikes and clearing landmines to protect 5 island communities.
These operations allowed displaced families to return safely and underscored how mine action is a critical enabler for humanitarian response, climate resilience, and durable solution for South Sudan.
Our target to distribute this land to the IDP and the returnees who are coming from Sudan and the IDP who are displaced by the water, by flood.
With rains expected to continue for the next 2 months, humanitarian groups warn that up to 400,000 people could be displaced by year's end. The new flood defense network is expected to support 150,000 households, but resources remain stretched. Authorities say land will be distributed to internally displaced persons and returnees, while mine clearance operations continue to reduce risks and restore access to essentials. In another story, wrapping up a 3-day trip to the United Kingdom, United States President Donald Trump projected a united front with Prime Minister Keir Starmer on various issues and highlighted the alliance between the two countries. Despite recent tension, Starmer called the US and the UK fast partners in trade, defense and technology.
His ego was thoroughly massaged by a day of royal flattery and a luxurious overnight stay at Windsor Castle.
He's a great gentleman. A great gentleman and a great king.
Donald Trump parted company with King Charles and headed off for the business and politics ahead of his state visit to the UK. A short helicopter ride took him to Chequers for a bagpipe welcome at the British minister's country retreat. And Keir Starmer and Donald Trump then disappeared inside for talks. Was been a precisely choreographed trip. Throughout continued with a signing of multifaceted joint investment deal focused on tech worth about $340 billion. But the likeliest point for the theater of the so-called special relationship to the go-off script was always the final press conference.
You know, Hamas said that they're going to put the hostages up as bait. They're going to put the hostages in front of any attack. And that's pretty brutal. We haven't heard that one in a long time. So we have to remember that. So I have a disagreement with the Prime Minister on that score. Okay? One of our few disagreements, actually.
Sorry. We absolutely agree on the need for peace and a roadmap because the situation in Gaza is intolerable. The hostages have been held for a very, very long time, and they must be freed. And we need aid to get into Gaza at speed.
On Ukraine, Keir Starmer is still trying to nudge Donald Trump to be tougher on Vladimir Putin.
The one that I thought would be easiest would be because of my relationship with President Putin, but he's let me down. He's really let me down. was going to be Russia and Ukraine, but we'll see how that turns out.
Reporting for GBS TV, I'm Paul M. Mine.
A growing international outcry is building outside the U.S. Embassy in Brussels, Belgium. Women's rights activists are protesting plans to destroy millions of dollars worth of contraceptive supplies meant for women in Africa conflict zone. The potential fallout could be devastating. Here is more on the story.
Shame, shame, shame. Trump is to blame. Shame, shame, shame.
Outside the United States Embassy in Brussels, dozens of activists protested plans to destroy $9 million worth of United States-funded contraceptives stored in Belgium.
Trump is to blame.
The Trump administration plans to burn millions of euros worth of essential contraceptives.
The supplies, intended for conflict zones in 5 African nations, could prevent over 362 unwanted pregnancies and more than 700 maternal deaths. Advocates say this is not just about funding, it's a political move to restrict reproductive rights.
It's very clear that this is a tactic, it's a long-term game to dismantle the global health system that we have, public health. Of course, NGOs and other governments, like the Belgian government, are listening and they are doing their best. But of course, it's about control, right? It's about control our bodies, our decision-making, and we are not the ones who have control right now.
In countries like Tanzania, losing these supplies will devastate healthcare systems and endanger lives.
If you see at the list of the countries that the supplies were supposed to go, it's 5 African countries, including the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Kenya, Mali, Tanzania, Zambia. Those countries are already in huge need of supplies, contraceptives. For instance, in Tanzania, those supplies that were supposed to be sent, it's 1/3 of the whole need of the health system. And in human numbers, it is 1.5 million women and girls who were supposed to get life-saving supplies. It's huge impact on real people's lives and their health.
Well, the US says no final decision has been made. Belgian authorities have blocked their destruction. For now, the stockpile remains, but so does the fight to protect it. Elvis Muyodi, GBS News.
Shifting our focus, in an interview at UN headquarters, Secretary General Antonio Guterres has warned that the world is on a global crisis due to multiplying conflict and geopolitical divides. Speaking at UN headquarters, Guterres also said that there is a sense of impunity which every country believes it can do whatever it wants. Speaking on the sidelines of the 80th General Assembly, he said leaders must use the gatherings to reverse those trends. Let's have a look.
We are facing a global crisis. Conflicts are multiplying in the context in which geopolitical divides do not allow to effectively address them. There is a sense of impunity. Every country believes they can do whatever they want. I believe that there will be a clear demonstration that the overwhelming majority of the countries in the world recognize the right of the Palestinian people to self-determination, recognize that there must be a Palestinian state and recognize it in the meeting we'll have on Monday, and at the same time send a very clear message that the carnage that is happening in Gaza has to end, that we need a ceasefire immediately, with the release of all hostages immediately too, and with effective humanitarian aid in Gaza that is suffering the highest level of death and destruction that I've seen since I'm Secretary General. The suffering of the Sudanese people is horrible. So I think it's time for the Security Council to be able to take, with the agreement of all the key powers, very tough measures on Sudan, to make those Sudanese parties understand that what they are doing is a crime against their own people. As we live in a world of impunity, it is easy for countries that see the examples of big powers waging war, as in the case of the Ukraine, there is a stimulus for mid-sized countries to try to solve their ambitions or their problems through war, instead of negotiation, instead of compromise. And this is becoming a pattern that needs to be strongly opposed by the international community, and we would need a much more united and effective Security Council to make it happen. That's why the reform of the Security Council is so important. But the most important message is to the countries in the world that have obligations under international law, under international refugee law, that their doors must be open, that refugees must be seen their rights respected.
And with that story, we have come to the end of the news bulletin. It's always a pleasure having you on board. Let's do this again next time. Same place, same channel. My name is Ibrahim Said, and our sign language interpreter tonight has been Alan Kiama. We live after a proverb. A wise man said that when the eagle comes for the chicken, the goat laughs, forgetting that the butcher doesn't come from the skies. Have a good night and a lovely week ahead.
Everywhere, GBS.